From a cold-blooded killer who murdered his bride to a cunning con artist behind $1 billion scam, these are criminals that have thousands and even millions of dollars bounty on them. Killer groom, wedding night of horror. We know people get cold feet on their wedding day for different reasons, like wondering if they made the right choice, getting married to the wrong person, or having better options. But Estrella Carrera probably got more than cold feet. She saw the red flags flashing before her eyes. What's more shocking is that she saw all the signs and warnings and decided to marry her fiancé. However, do you think in her wildest dreams she imagined herself getting murdered by the one who vowed to love her? Carrera thought she had found her happily ever after. She had a beautiful wedding with the man she loved, Arnaldo Jimenez, and celebrated with her family and friends. But the next day, she was found dead in her bathtub, stabbed by her new husband, who vanished without a trace. Jimenez and Carrera married at Chicago City Hall on May 11, 2012, and then celebrated with family and friends at a nightclub. They left the club around 4 a.m. on May 12th, and that was the last time anyone saw Carrera alive. Carrera's family became worried when she did not show up to pick up her 2 children, a 9-year-old daughter from a previous relationship and a 2-year-old son with Jimenez. They reported her missing to the police, who discovered her body during a wellness check. According to the FBI, the newlyweds got into a heated argument in Jimenez's black 2006 4-door Maserati on their way home. Jimenez then stabbed Carrera multiple times in his car and dragged her body into her apartment. He left her bleeding in the bathtub and fled the scene. She was still wearing the silver dress she wore to their wedding reception the night before. As soon as Jimenez realized what he had done, he called his sister and confessed that he had left his wife bleeding out in their bathtub. He told her he was leaving the country and asked her to take care of his children. He also called one of Carrera's sisters and apologized for what he had done. Investigators began tracking Jimenez's cell phone and found that he had traveled from Chicago to Southern Illinois, then to Memphis, Tennessee, and then to Arkansas on May 12th. On May 13th, he made calls from Houston and then from Hidalgo, Mexico. He's nowhere to be found. On May 15th, Jimenez was charged with first-degree murder and a state warrant was issued for his arrest. A federal warrant followed after he was charged with unlawful flight to avoid prosecution on May 17th. In September 2012, police arrested Jimenez's brother, Humberto, on drug charges and found Arnaldo's black Maserati in his garage. Blood was found inside the car, confirming that Jimenez had killed Carrera in his car. Police believe Humberto drove Arnaldo to Mexico in his car and left him there. The FBI believes Jimenez is still hiding in Durango, Mexico, specifically in the area of Santiago Papasquiaro. The search for Carlos, the face of evil. Something as tiny as a misplaced hair or a forgotten fingerprint can be the difference between getting away with a crime and being caught. In this case, this homeless man thought he had committed the perfect crime, but he was unaware that he had left behind a vital piece of evidence that would give his identity away. What did he leave behind? On a summer day in 2000, 5-year-old Iriana de Jesus went missing from her neighborhood in North Philadelphia. 5 days later, the police found her body in the basement of an abandoned apartment building only a few blocks away. She had been sexually assaulted, strangled, and wrapped in a trash bag. However, they also found an item near her body, stained with her blood, a t-shirt with a distinct political logo. They ran investigations on the t-shirt and found out that it belonged to a homeless drifter known as Carlos. A resident named Jorge Contreras provided shelter, clothing, and work to this man named Carlos. However, Carlos disappeared from the area around the same time when Iriana went missing. As a result, he became the prime suspect in the case, and the police and the media circulated a sketch of his face. Despite this, Carlos remained untraceable. Who was Carlos, and how did he get involved in this murder case? For years, the case remained unsolved, and Iriana's family and friends waited for justice. They held candlelight vigils year after year to honor her memory and to keep her case alive. They hoped that one day, Carlos would be caught and brought to trial. In 2007, a breakthrough came when a DNA sample obtained from a Carlos in Arizona in 2002 matched the DNA found at the crime scene in Philadelphia. Carlos was identified as Alexis Flores, a Honduran national who had been deported from the U.S. in 2005. He was charged with murder, kidnapping, and other felonies, and a warrant was issued for his arrest. He was also added to the FBI's 10 most wanted fugitives list, with a reward of up to $100,000 for information leading to his capture. But Flores was already on the run and had a head start of several years. He was believed to have fled to his native Honduras, where he had family and friends who could help him hide. The FBI and the local authorities in Honduras launched a joint operation to track him down, but he proved elusive and cunning. He used multiple aliases, dates of birth, and disguises to evade detection. He also had a large surgical scar on his neck, which he may have tried to conceal or alter. Maybe one day, Flores will be brought to justice. However, he would remember that every detail counts. Omar Alexander Cardenas, gangster on the run. It was a sunny afternoon in Los Angeles, and Jabali Dumas had just finished his shift as a sanitation worker for a local trash company. He decided to stop by Hair Icon Barbershop in a large outdoor shopping center in Silmar, California.
We have a video capture of Jabali arriving at the shopping center, parking his car. He walks to the barbershop, and he went inside. Then a short time later, he walks out, and we see him going towards the discount store. Our victim engages some of the cashiers in conversation like they knew him. We interviewed the cashier. She told us that he frequently comes in, and in this particular conversation, he just wanted to tell her how nice she looked that day.
On his way home, unaware that a cold-blooded killer was lurking nearby,
he immediately assumes a position leaning against his pillar, and it's at that time the shooting occurs. And within seconds, the crowd starts ducking for cover. We found an angle of the south exit of the strip center. What we see is a large, heavy-set male, dark clothing, prescription glasses, go north into the parking lot about 2 minutes before the shooting. Then a short time after that, we see him jogging out of the parking lot. He matched the description from an eyewitness of the person they saw shoot.
the killer walked into the shopping center and fired 9 shots at Dumas with a semi-automatic handgun from approximately 30 feet away, striking him in the head. Dumas fell to the floor, fatally injured, and the killer fled from the scene and disappeared in his vehicle, a silver 2004 Acura TL with a California license plate. According to the neurosurgeon who attended to Dumas, one of the bullets hit Dumas in the head and almost severed his brain, and no scientific medical procedure could repair the damage caused by the bullet. What could Dumas have done that warranted for him to be shot dead brutally? The police quickly identified Omar Alexander Cardenas as the shooter, thanks to the witnesses and the surveillance footage. Witnesses described the Cardenas as a heavy-set Hispanic male, light complexioned, with noticeable prescription glasses and wearing dark clothes. They also found his vehicle abandoned in a nearby neighborhood, but Cardenas was nowhere to be found. They also found out that Cardenas was a suspected member of the Pierce Street gang in Los Angeles, and that the shooting may have been gang-related. Was Dumas in whatever way linked to the gang, or did Cardenas have a grudge against him for no reason? This is still largely unknown, as Cardenas is still nowhere to be found. Cardenas has been on the run for more than 4 years and has eluded capture despite the efforts of the authorities and the public. The police issued a warrant for his arrest and charged him with murder in April 2020.
Regarding this, his whereabouts, it's unknown at this point, and the trail has gone cold. Our efforts with the family and associates have not produced positive results, and we are worried that he has relatives in Mexico that he could have fled to, which makes this an international case.
In September of 2021, the FBI also charged him with unlawful flight to avoid prosecution and added him to the FBI's 10 most wanted fugitives list. The FBI has stated that Cardenas may have fled to Mexico or may also be in Southern California where he has family and his friends. He may be working as a construction worker and may have altered his appearance. He could be hiding anywhere, even right under our noses. The hunt for Porky, the rescue of the kingpin. On February 13, 2020, Archaga Carillas was scheduled to attend a court hearing in El Progreso, Honduras. He had been convicted of money laundering and illicit association in 2018 and was serving a lengthy prison sentence. It was supposed to be a routine procedure, a simple transfer of a high-profile inmate from prison to court. But nothing was normal about that day. Carillas never made it to the courtroom. As soon as Archaga Carillas arrived at the courthouse, a group of heavily armed men stormed the building, killing several police officers and freeing him. Who was this guy, and how important was he that he had to be rescued from the clutches of the law in that manner? What is more shocking is how this brazen escape was played out. Security footage shows two groups of men dressed in military police uniforms arriving on the scene. The first group was escorting a man in handcuffs, a false prisoner used as a decoy. The second was escorting a man dressed in a black tunic that is generally used to protect the identity of a witness or victim. This time, it was used to hide weapons and ammunition. They stormed the courthouse, killing several officers and injuring others. They then whisked Archaga Carillas away in a van, leaving behind a scene of chaos and bloodshed. Archaga Carillas, who was also known as Porky, had been on the radar of the U.S. authorities for years. He was allegedly in charge of MS-13 for all of Honduras and provided weapons, drugs, and money to gang members operating in the United States. He was also suspected of ordering and participating in the killings of rival gang members and others associated with MS-13. This brazen escape was orchestrated by his loyal followers in the MS-13, one of the most violent and powerful criminal organizations in the world. In November 2021, he was added to the FBI's 10 most wanted fugitives list, joining the ranks of some of the most notorious criminals in history. The U.S. government offered a reward of up to $100,000 for information leading to his capture. But that was not enough to lure him out of hiding. In February 2023, the U.S. government ramped up the pressure on Archaga Carillas' capture. The State Department increased the reward offer to $5 million, making him one of the most wanted drug traffickers in the world. The Treasury Department also sanctioned him and his associates, freezing their assets and banning any transactions with them. It does not look like these measures will be enough to catch Porky. However, if you spot him, it might just be your lucky day. Just be sure to not end up dead. The missing crypto queen, scam coin. Imagine yourself in London's packed Wembley Stadium cheering loudly in the summer of 2016. However, you're not cheering for a megastar's concert or some sports event. You're attending the event of Dr. Ruja Ignatova, the biggest crypto queen in the history of cryptocurrency, listening to her convince you to buy her cryptocurrency for high returns.
So, when we go out, when we speak about cryptocurrency, what makes us different? What makes us different from Bitcoin, but what makes us different from all the Mickey Mouse coins out there who copy our concept? And I'll tell you what makes us different. I believe what makes us different is our vision. We are more than just one coin. We create the world around this coin.
It's OneCoin, the world's second largest cryptocurrency by market capitalization. Bet it sounded like a fantastic investment opportunity to you. It sure did to 4 million other people. What you didn't realize was that you were buying into one of the biggest cryptocurrency scams in the world. The next thing you hear on the news is,
a Bulgarian woman has been placed on the FBI's top 10 most wanted list for allegedly running a cryptocurrency scam.
now your money is gone and the crypto queen is nowhere to be found. An unfortunate loss, if you ask me. However, let us tell you about the self-acclaimed crypto queen who scammed you of your money. Ruja Ignatova, a Bulgarian-born entrepreneur who claimed to have a PhD from Oxford University and a background in finance and law, claimed to have created a revolutionary cryptocurrency that would rival Bitcoin. She called it OneCoin and promised her investors huge returns, a chance to be part of a new digital economy and recruit others to join the network. However, behind the scenes, OneCoin was nothing but a Ponzi scheme that defrauded billions of dollars from millions of people. It was one of the biggest scams in history. She scammed about 4 million people for about $4 billion in over 175 countries. How did she achieve this scam? Ignatova teamed up with Sebastian Greenwood, a Swedish businessman who had experience in network marketing and online scams. Together, they created a sophisticated global operation that lured people into buying educational packages that supposedly taught them about cryptocurrency trading and investing. These packages also came with tokens that could be used to mine OneCoins, which claimed to be based on blockchain technology and a limited supply of 120 billion coins. Ignatova held lavish events and conferences in different countries where she spoke about the future of OneCoin and how it would become the next Bitcoin. She also hired celebrities and influencers to endorse her project and create a cult-like atmosphere. She claimed that OneCoin had a value of over 20 euros per coin and would soon be listed on public exchanges and accepted by merchants worldwide. Every available and legitimate crypto coin on the market has a functioning blockchain that can be tracked in real time. It also has a verifiable ledger that records all the transactions and activities of the coin.
So today I will ask Dian a few questions and he will give us some answers. And I hope that all of you after this conversation can understand what an audit is, learn a bit more about the blockchain and see that OneCoin is a real cryptocurrency and that we can all trust in this cryptocurrency.
However, unlike Bitcoin and other legitimate cryptocurrencies, OneCoin had no blockchain, no public ledger, no decentralized network, and no real value. The coins were simply numbers on a database that Ignatova and her associates controlled and manipulated. The only way to exchange OneCoins for other currencies was through an internal marketplace called XCoinX, which was often closed or restricted. The most significant source of income for OneCoin was the recruitment of new members, who had to pay hefty fees to join the scheme and buy the educational packages. The more people joined, the more money flowed into OneCoin's coffers, and more commissions and bonuses were paid to the top recruiters and leaders. The scam started to unravel in 2016, when authorities and regulators in various countries began to investigate and warn about OneCoin. Several media outlets and experts also exposed the scheme and its flaws. In 2017, Ignatova got information about increasing police investigations into OneCoin. She vanished on October 25, 2017, after boarding a flight from Sofia, Bulgaria to Athens, Greece. She has not been seen or heard from since then. In 2019, her brother Konstantin Ignatov pled guilty to fraud and money laundering in connection with the scheme. He testified that his sister had asked him to take over the business and that she had powerful friends who would protect her. He also said she had given him a thumb drive containing confidential police information about the investigations into OneCoin. In 2022, Ignatova was listed on the FBI's 10 Most Wanted list, with a reward of $250,000 for information leading to her arrest. Not only is the FBI after her, but Interpol and German authorities are also seeking to apprehend her. Fugitive killer, deadly love triangle. This next young lady lent her boyfriend some money and met up with her man upon his request to return the money he lent from her. That was the last time both of them were ever seen. What could have gone wrong? Alejandro Rosales Castillo was Truquan Sandy Lili's boyfriend and her former co-worker. They worked together at a Showmars restaurant in Charlotte and had a brief romantic relationship. Lee had sent Castillo some money, which he never paid back. In August 2016, Castillo texted Lee, saying he wanted to repay her the money. Lee agreed to meet him at a Quick Trip gas station on Eastway Drive in Charlotte. Castillo's new girlfriend, Feaster, and a co-worker at Showmars picked him up in a red Dodge Caliber. They drove to the Quick Trip, where Lee was last seen alive. Investigators believe that Castillo coerced Lee to empty her bank account at an ATM, possibly at gunpoint. Lee's uncle told the Associated Press that her bank statements showed that she withdrew $1,000, leaving no money in her account. Castillo then allegedly drove Lee to a secluded area in Cabarrus County, where he shot her once in the head, killing her. He dumped her body in a ravine, where the police found it 2 days later. Castillo and Feaster then took off in Lee's black 2003 Toyota Corolla, leaving behind Feaster's Dodge Caliber. Lee's family reported her missing after 2 days of not seeing her, and Castillo and Feaster were reported missing on August 11th and 12th, respectively. Feaster's Dodge Caliber was found abandoned on August 13th in Charlotte. Later that day, Feaster and Castillo reportedly called their family saying they were safe but did not know where they were. Police immediately suspected foul play and launched a homicide investigation. Meanwhile, Castillo and Feaster drove across the country from North Carolina to Phoenix, Arizona. They parked Lee's car at a bus shelter in Phoenix, where the police found it in August. Castillo and Feaster then went to Nogales, Arizona, where they crossed the border into Mexico. Surveillance footage captured images of Castillo crossing the border into Mexico. He has not been seen since. Investigators believe that Castillo is still hiding in Mexico, possibly in the cities of San Francisco de los Romo or Pabellón de Arteaga in the state of Aguas Salientes. He may have also traveled to the Mexican states of Guanajuato or Veracruz. He may have changed his appearance, such as shaving his head or growing a beard. The FBI and the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department have been working together to locate Castillo and bring him to justice. A state warrant for Castillo's arrest for first-degree murder was issued on August 15, 2016, followed by a federal arrest warrant for unlawful flight to avoid prosecution on August 17, 2016. On October 24, 2017, Castillo was added to the FBI's 10 most wanted fugitives list, joining a notorious group of criminals that includes terrorists, drug lords, serial killers, and rapists. The FBI is offering a reward of up to $250,000 for information leading directly to Castillo's arrest. On October 20, 2016, Feaster surrendered herself to authorities in Aguas Salientes, Mexico. She got in touch with her mother, who cooperated with U.S. authorities and arranged for her to be apprehended at an airport.